You're welcome to today's class. Today we want to still on that line of returning structure from a function. The last class we did returning a structure, right, from a function. Today's class we are going to do returning a pointer to a structure, but this structure is still going to be created in the function, right? So that's what I want to explain to you. So it's going to create that variable in the heap, not in the stack, using the malloc function. So that's what I want to demonstrate. Just like the last class, but this time around, we are creating that variable at runtime. So let's write a program to demonstrate that. Um, so uh, let's use this. Include stdio.h, include std library.h because of my malloc, include string.h. So these are toolboxes that I will need tools from. So they are libraries that I will need certain functions from. Okay, so let's create my structure. So same thing, I will say struct. Let's still call it person, right? Still, we have char. Person will have name. And then we still assign 20 to it. Almost the same thing as the other one. Then we have, these are, then int age, right? So we close this here. So this is our template. Now we are going to create our function, right? That will create the variable for this blueprint. So since that function is going to return a pointer to the address, so we'll say struct person because we are creating a variable for it, struct person, but it's going to return the pointer. So we'll put asterisk here, right? And then we'll say create person. Now, this function is expecting two parameters, which is what? Name and age. So like I told you in the last class, I'm still going to use the constant keyword. Then char. So pointer name, comma, int age. That is a function. So you have the curly bracket. So it's expecting two parameters, which is name. I told you in the last class, the reason why we have this constant, meaning you are saying this create person is never going to attempt to change the name that this will be pointing to, right? So it's constant. You're just going to do read only. Now, inside it, what are we going to do? We are going to use a pointer to point to the address that will be created in the what? In the heap. So you will say struct person, right? And so let's call this this variable, we'll call it, let's call it ptr, or let's just call it p, right? We'll call it p. And then we are going to call our malloc function, malloc, right? Our malloc function. We are going to call this malloc function is from here, from this one. So this function is going to help us create the memory space that we'll use at runtime. But this function returns a void type. So we are going to typecast it to this data type. So we'll do struct person, right? We are typecasting. Then we'll call our malloc function. So this malloc will create size of this. So size of struct. I don't know if you can still see. I'll write it under person, right? Then I'll close it. So what I'm writing here is it should be like this: struct person size of. So that is what I'm trying to write here is like this: malloc size of struct person. So size of this will be what? This is 20 and this is 4. So that will be what? 24 bytes. Considering padding, right? So 24 bytes. So malloc is going to create 24 bytes in the heap memory. So you have this. So this is your text, right? This is your data segment. And then this is what? Heap. And this is what? Stack. So local variables are usually created in this stack. But this address that will be created is dynamically created. So it's usually created in the heap. So this malloc is creating memory in this heap. So it will create 24 bytes space inside this heap. And then the only way you can access such memory created in the heap is always through a pointer. So that is why you are having this pointer here. So the next thing that will happen, the next thing that I will do will be what? To now assign the values that will be given to what? To this element. So I will say string copy, right? Then since this is a pointer, I will say p arrow name. Then we'll be expecting whatever name will be given to this guy. And then p arrow age will be assigned age, right? Okay. Then it will return p, meaning it's returning a pointer to the calling function. So I'm going to close this one. I will close it. So I'll close my function. Then I'm going to create my main function, which is what? Int main function. Now inside this my main function, this create person is a function that will create the person and give it and put it inside this memory space that malloc will have created, 24 bytes. So what this create function will return is what? A pointer. So what is a pointer? A variable that holds the address of another variable. So it means it's going to return the address in the heap. So if it's going to return the address in the heap, what are we going to use to collect that address? We have to use another pointer to collect it. So inside my main, I will say struct person. Then let's call it, so it will be a pointer. Let's call it person. Or let's call it P1. P1, right? And then we are going to call this create function. Create person. And we'll supply again phone, right? And age 40 again to it. So this is us creating a pointer inside our main, and this pointer will receive the address of that will be returned by this create person. So the moment this create person, which is an external function, create a memory space that will hold whatever will be given, it will return the pointer to that address. Last class, it returned a copy, right? But this one is returning a pointer to the address. So that pointer, which is that address, will be kept here. Then we can now use, we can now print out printf, right? Printf, we'll say name, %s, comma, h, %d /n. Then name will be what? P1 arrow name, comma, P1 arrow h, right? Then you close this one. So don't forget, you created malloc. The moment you access it and you are able to pull out everything that is here, you have to free that space. So you call a free function, free P1. Then return 0. Then you close this, right? So this is our program. I really hope you can still see what I wrote down here. But the free function, to free P1, which is to free the malloc, and then return 0. Because if you don't free it, eventually it will fill up your memory, and you will not have memory again to receive any value, right? So this is how you return a pointer to what? To structure. A function is here. Now, when you call this create person, control will go to this, and then phone will be given to what? To this place. And a copy will be made into what? Into P name. Then 40 will be given to H, and a copy will be what? Positioned into PH. Then this function will return a pointer, because this was created in the heap. So this will return a pointer, which is holding the address of this creation, of this malloc, right? It will return it to what? To the calling function, and then that address will be assigned. So this place is like saying struct person asterisk p address of whatever is returned here, which is what? Address of p, right? So that is what this place is like. Now, this pointer is pointing to the address of p in the heap. So when you go to it, printf will be able to access it. So p1.name, p1.h, and then it will free that memory, because every memory that is assigned using malloc has to be freed when the whole process is done, then to return to the operating system that there is no error. So this is what I want to show you in this class on how to return a pointer to structure, just like you do on other data types. So let's go to code blocks and let me demonstrate this for you to see. So this is our code blocks, just like we demonstrated in the last class. But this time around, we are returning a pointer, which is what? So we created the create person, which is a function that is accepting 2 parameters, and that will be supplied. And then so you can see this one, it is implicit typecasting. I did not typecast it explicitly. The standard library allow me to do that, right? I can add my explicit typecasting, and that will simply mean I will do struct person, and then so I can do it this way, and it will give me the same output. So let's execute this, and let's see what the output will be. So to print out mphone, name mphone, and age 40. All right, so that is that. So you are returning a pointer, which is what? A pointer to the address created in the heap memory. So that is what I want to show you in this class. So if you have come with me this far, do not forget to give me a thumbs up and help to share the video. So till we see in the next class, bye-bye.